Next question. Jocko, your podcast listeners and Twitter followers know you're before 5 daily, meaning you're up before 5. Work out essentially every day and are devoted student of jiu-jitsu. What relationship do you see between physical fitness and empowering the mind/will? When a man really commits to changing his fitness, what else changes?
Well, you heard Bob Hoffman talk about this a bunch tonight in his book. Bob Hoffman wrote the book, I Remember the Last War, and he wrote the book, How to Be Strong, Healthy, and Happy. And there's no doubt that physical fitness is going to help you in every facet of life, especially in terms of what you're talking about, empowering the mind and the will. Working out is a test of will, right? I mean, it is going to see, can you push yourself harder? Can you get the last rep? Can you shave another second off the sprint? Can you lift a little bit heavier? That's what working out is. It's a test of will. And that test of will, and you've heard me say this before, starts before the workout starts. It starts when the alarm goes off. Can you get out of bed in the morning? These are all little tests of discipline and of will. And as we've talked about before, discipline begets more discipline. The stronger you get, the stronger you get. And physical will that it takes to get through these workouts, that it takes to get out of bed in the morning, that carries over to mental will. So you can eat better food, so you can get work done, so you can control your temper, so you can create things and improve things, and you can be better. Now, I remember a while ago, speaking of Twitter, I posted a picture of early morning workout. I got done. And then I posted a picture of the post surf session. And then I posted a picture of post jiu-jitsu session. And, so these were all like 3 posts in a row. Mm-hmm. And someone made some kind of a comment that was kind of along the lines of, oh, it must be rough, right? Must be a rough life. Mm-hmm. You're getting up, you're just surfing and doing jiu-jitsu. And honestly, when I saw that, when someone wrote that, I kind of felt bad. I kind of felt guilty in a way. Because here I am, I'm going surfing, I'm working out, I'm training jiu-jitsu, I'm kind of living the dream. Or in fact, in my mind, I actually am living my dream. Doing what I want to do when I want to do it. And then there's other people out there that are grinding, that are either overseas, that are in combat, that are working, that are doing jobs that they don't like. They're working with people that they can't stand in a cubicle somewhere or whatever it is they're doing. And here I was, I felt like, damn, I'm rubbing this in people's faces. Mm-hmm. And I actually felt bad. And I was like, man, I can't be doing that again. And someone else on Twitter came on the same thread or whatever and said, discipline equals freedom. They quoted me. Mm. And they were right. They made a great point. The reason I'm able to go surfing and do jiu-jitsu and work out and do whatever is because of discipline throughout my life. And again, I'm not making no claims right now to be the ultimate success story. I'm certainly not. And I will tell you this, I live in a great place right now. There was a time where my wife and I wanted to live down by the beach. We bought a house down by the beach, a dump that was barely livable. And it was 850 square feet. And we had 3 kids in there. And my wife and I, our bed, when you opened the front door to the house and walked into the living room, our bed was on the floor right there. For a few years, we just lived there, and now we live in a great house. But I have to remind people, like, you know what? There was a time where I just was sucking it up and living on Navy pay, and we squeezed into this house and borrowed a bunch of money and lived on the floor in the living room. But we had that discipline back then, and then the discipline eventually becomes a form of freedom. And so it wasn't always like this where I was just chilling and surfing and doing jiu-jitsu and playing guitar and whatever. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears along the way. And by the way, the blood, sweat, and tears along the way, I actually enjoyed. I wouldn't trade it. I'm glad that I was put in those situations to do those things. And most importantly, this is available to anybody. That life that you want is out there. And it might be a few years in the future, but it's there and you can get to it. And the path getting there starts early in the morning and it ends late at night, and it requires sacrifice and discipline, and it requires force of will, and that comes at 4:30 in the morning when the alarm goes off. That's when it comes. So get up and go get it. And that's why I think that the idea of physical fitness, empowering the mind and the will, I think that's what happens when you commit to those things. I think the rest of your life will reflect positively on what you've done. And guess what? I've been real lucky too. I've been very lucky along the way. And I won't say that I made everything happen myself. I got lucky. I was blessed in a lot of situations and had good things happen. I mean, for instance, the housing market crashed and I was in the Navy. It didn't matter to me. I mean, I had a couple houses and I was like, oh, well, I didn't even notice there was a housing market crash until I was buying more houses and they were cheaper, but it wasn't, that was luck.
Yeah.
Didn't plan that. Might have been a long-term strategy. Hey, I want to buy houses, but a lot of people got caught upside down in some rough situations in the housing market. And I was lucky in the fact that I hadn't overextended myself. Again, maybe that's partial luck, partial strategy, but that's a situation. Again, I'm just trying to point out that I know I've been lucky in some of it. But let's make our luck with some hard work for sure.
Yeah, just you pointing that out, that you got lucky, and you recognizing it. A lot of people, they don't want to recognize all the factors. It's just easy to blame something else for what didn't happen, and then not blame, but take credit yourself for something that does happen good.
Yeah.
So you're over here recognizing everything, kind of the good, which is part of your discipline way of being. Back to your Twitter post situation. That was good. That was heavy. That was good right there, I thought. And I know, thinking about that, someone who posted must be rough, right? Like a sarcastic.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was just a fun thing to post, right?
They weren't being a jerk.
Right.
I don't think they were.
So let's just get that out of the way. Yeah, and it hit you actually in a good way. Some people might be like, hey, I work for this stuff. Don't say that. Take it the wrong way or whatever. Yeah. But you didn't. You took it in the opposite way, which says yet again more about you and your approach. So that being said, let me add this little part to it where when you look at those Twitter posts, like that Twitter post, right? You have your, the aftermath of your workout. Go look at, or Instagram, whatever. Look at every single day of your posts. Every single day. You'll see 4:34, wake up, workout, 4:30, every single day. And then step back and look at all of them all at once. That's just the clear picture of your discipline, of your, doing it every single day. Because, okay, I understand I can wake up at 4:34 tomorrow if I want to. And I'll get a workout in, and I'll be like, look at me, I'm Jocko. And then go surfing, go do jiu-jitsu, and eat flank steak. But if you expect me to do that every single day, and I'm not used to it, and I do it, that's saying a lot more. And you do that. Yeah. So there's your picture. That's what it is. Of course, don't focus on just that little narrow view of, how cool it was that he got to do jiu-jitsu, surf all day, and cruise. Look at the big picture. And that picture, just like I said, discipline equals freedom. There it is. There's your picture right there on Twitter.
Yeah, that was cool. That somebody actually had to point that out to me. When I read it, I was like, "Damn, they're making a very good point."
Yeah, but man, that's like the perfect example, in my opinion. That discipline equals freedom. It's like within that picture of freedom, all you see is discipline all over it. starting with the 4:34 in the morning.
And, I tell you, if I would have had more discipline throughout my life, I'd be in an even better situation than I am right now. Like, I look back and say, man, what did I do this for? What did I do that for? And that's one thing that now, when people talk to me and ask me questions, I'm trying to tell them what mistakes I made, things that I did wrong, things that I did that were stupid, so that they can say, oh, okay, because the opportunities are out there. The opportunities are out there to make good things happen in your life, but they're not gonna show up at your doorstep.
Yeah.
They're not coming to your doorstep. I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody that right now. You have to go out and make them happen.
Yeah.
You have to go out and take them, because they're not going to come knocking on your door. The good deal is not coming to your door. Not happening.
It's so crazy how obvious that sounds. That obvious, like you saying that, I'm not going to be like, hey, I never realized that. I thought they were going to come to my doorstep. But it's almost like most people, I don't say most people, but it's almost like people don't really understand that that's true. Mm-hmm. Because you have like people who watch just TV. Like if you watch, remember Lost? Remember that? Lost,
I never watched it.
Okay, yeah, I watched a few episodes, but I remember people were just really into that, and they're like talking about Lost and the characters, because that was a confusing show, is why I used that. And they're talking about this, like they know all the details, and they're trying to figure this out, and over like seasons upon seasons of Lost, and they know that. Like, bro, you know what you could have been doing with all that mental energy and the time that it takes to watch all this? You could have been doing a lot, and that Lost example is just one of many examples of what we all do, I think.
Well, it's very fitting that it's called Lost. Because you lost a bunch of time and a bunch of opportunity in your life.
Yeah, man.
Unless, there's things that could be so inspiring, I guess. Some artwork or some art form or some film or movie or show that could be so inspiring to you. But if it's not inspiring to you, if it's not forcing you to get out and make something more of yourself or create something more, then it's probably not worth your while, to be quite honest with you.
Right. And again, the whole, Lost situation, hey, everyone's different, I know, but when you're watching TV, which is just, I think, a huge one that people waste their time on, I can get some inspiration from TV with cinema stuff because I'm in video. Mm-hmm. But I think that I would argue that that's not why most people watch TV. That's not why they're watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'll tell you that. So
I'm not familiar with this.
it's a show on TV. Nonetheless, people don't act like that's true. That opportunity is not going to just come knocking on your door.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier today. You only have so much time. Right. You only have so much time. And if you miss a workout, if you miss a moment with your family, whatever you're missing, is it worth it? Yeah. You're letting it go away. You only got that day is only going to go by one time. Yep. You only got one shot at today. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Do something good.
Yeah, it's just so interesting how, again, this is like nothing new, but I feel like a lot of us act like that's simply not true. Isn't that weird though?
Yeah, it is, because it's such a big, you have a long time on this earth. If you just sit back and go day to day, then wasting a few hours watching a TV program maybe doesn't seem like a big deal. When you add all those hours up and you subtract them from the actual time that you've got here, man, don't let it go to waste.
It's true.
Don't do it.
One of the guys on Lost was named Mr. Echo, by the way. I think he died, though. I don't know.
I wish you wouldn't have given me that information for my head. You wasted space in my head. I like Echo Actual.
All right, we'll stick with that then. All right. I think the last one.